So I love living on campus. For me, it was really because of, believe it or not, parking. I don't have to worry about parking being on campus. I just park my car, wake up, and walk to whatever class or whatever, the hub or the CAF or whatever I need to do. I chose FAMU mainly because of the network. I've looked and I've searched for all types of schools that I think would be the best pick for me, and noticing how much the alumni care about their HBCU here at FAMU and how much they pour back into the students, internships, all these things that I've learned that alumni do for the institution. I was like, I need that network to be successful. So on top of that, when I was younger, my youth group at my church back home, they used to bring us up here to homecoming parade and the homecoming game. And I will never forget the first time I attended a game in Bragg. And I just felt like I was at home. So I tried to get away from FAMU. I was like, it's too close to home. Like, I need to go off and just start over and experience new things. And I just could not get away from it. So the culture here is undeniable. When people ask me this question, why did I pick FAMU? I really just tell them, you have to experience it for yourself. So I transferred to FAMU during fall 2020 semester, smack in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, and it was really hard. It was my first time being away from home. I didn't know anyone here except for one person that transferred from the same college as me, and classes were online, and everybody had on a mask. So it was really hard to get to know people, but I told myself I transferred to FAMU to network. So pandemic or not, I'm a network. So I made it my mission to get to know everybody in my residence hall, everybody in South Towers. When there was an in-person event on campus, I went to it, flag football games, everything. And eventually I became an orientation leader. So when I first transferred to FAMU, I had an orientation, but it was virtual. It was during Zoom or on Zoom, excuse me. And that was when everybody was starting to use Zoom and learn how to navigate it. So it was kind of glitchy and all these other things. So my orientation wasn't very informational or knowledgeable for myself. And I also didn't have a college campus tour. So I didn't know where anything was at on campus, what buildings were where or nothing. So once I became an orientation leader, I said, I'm gonna make it my mission to make sure that no transfer student that I meet is gonna have the same experience as myself of just being lost at FAMU. And so I used everything that I learned as an orientation leader, all the FAMU history, all the FAMU requirements to get in, test scores, all this stuff. I used that to help guide transfer students to get acclimated to campus life at FAMU. And hopefully I've left an impact on people so that no one doesn't have the same experience as myself. With me being a transfer student, living on campus was kind of a big deal for me. Like I said, I didn't know nobody, so I know staying in the residence halls was gonna allow me to meet people and to form relationships that would help me in the future. So also the amenities. I love how FAMU Towers has this kitchen for us to utilize. I know when I was staying here, me and my friends used to come down here and make breakfast at like 12 in the morning and do things like that. Just make spaghetti one night. We're gonna have dinner together as like friends. And so that was really cute to me, and I really enjoyed that as like one of my favorite memories looking back on my first year, as well as the study rooms and the like community floors on each floor that we have. I'm a sports fanatic, so during football season, during the NBA season, I would go out onto the common area floor and put the game on the TV. And eventually people walking through would like stop and sit down, and over the course of time, everybody just ended up out there like, oh, what time the game coming on? Oh, da-da-da, I'm going down at this time, da-da-da. And so that was a nice thing to just have somewhere to fellowship with everybody in the residence hall that you're friends with. So really cool, really fun. And the most important thing to me was staying on campus. I wouldn't have to come to campus to find parking for events or parking for class. Like, I'm just here, I park at night, I come in here, go to sleep, wake up, and I can just walk to my classroom or walk to the hub or whatever I need to do. And so those were big things for me when it came to staying on campus. So reigning as Miss Florida A&M University comes with a lot of responsibility, tasks, and expectations. Some days I'm very burnt out and stressed out, and then other days I'm really happy and excited to be able to serve in this role for not only the student body and the alumni at FAMU, but also for my community back home. It's always an honor to be able to represent an institution as great as FAMU. And I just have to think about my why sometimes, because it can be very demanding and very time consuming. But being able to travel to cities like Miami and Atlanta and getting to tell prospective students and families about how great FAMU is and how many opportunities I've been able to take advantage of while being here, and how they care about you and the culture and the energy and everything. Like, it's just amazing, and I'm so blessed to be able to serve you all as Miss Florida A&M University. So coming to FAMU, like I said before, I made it my mission to get involved and get to know people. So I'm a part of several organizations such as Sisters Incorporated, NCNW, NAACP. I served as Miss Transfer Student Association, and living on campus has allowed me to be able to assist transfer students and freshmen, because I did serve as an orientation leader like I mentioned before. And being on campus, being able to assist them whenever they need something, I can just jump right to them. With my internship with FAMU Athletics, I was able to be very flexible just being on campus, being able to jump from the football field to the baseball field to the track field, and so on and so forth. So I'm really thankful for the opportunity to stay on campus, because upperclassmen typically stay off campus, but I was blessed to be able to stay in Towers, which is the newest residence hall on campus. And I was actually one of the first people to stay in Towers when it opened up. So thankful for everything that housing does for us as students. So here we are at one of my favorite amenities in Towers North, which is the kitchen. And as I mentioned before, me and my friends got to come down here and make dinner at night or breakfast at midnight. It was even a lifesaver for me when I got my wisdom teeth taken out and I couldn't eat anything that was in the hub or in the cast. So I came down here and made me some ramen noodles and some macaroni cheese. And so not only has it been a place for me to make memories, but it's also been a lifesaver for instances such as that. So this is the average room that you would stay in if you stay here in Towers. This is what I stayed in. And luckily for me, when I got to FAMU, like I said, it was in the middle of the pandemic. So FAMU wasn't doing roommates at the time. So I had this entire room to myself. I put the two beds together and had a big old bed. And it was also very, I guess you could say it was an advantage, because I was able to have all of my friends piling here for movie nights and things as such, and not have to worry about having to share a space with anyone else. But even if you do, this room is has plenty of space for you and another person to share the room and still be comfortable and enjoy each other's company. All right, guys. Well, that's what we have for you all today. Thank you so much for spending time with University Housing and myself, getting to see what a day in the life of Miss Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University is like. I am Aliya Everett, and I'm headed to class. Y'all have a great day.